That's what I like about Putting on Airs, because it is, despite everything, it is a thinking man's podcast.
Oh, that's right, son. Absolutely. We are up our own ass, yet for the proletariat at the same time. We are, we do this a lot with our beards, but often it's to get mayonnaise out of it. You know what I mean? Well, here we are. It is unfortunately, a Trae-less week within the Skuniverse. A lot of you already know that because you probably saw me on weekly skews, and you've also you've listened to Well Read, so you know it. But it is a Trae-less week in the Skuniverse. But that doesn't matter here because we have a bevy of fill-ins. Bevy, I believe, is a word that you should use for that. Cadre, something like that. I don't know. Today we've got a very special co-host. If you're listening, you know what? Your name's going to be in the title. I always think that I'm giving a surprise away, but it's like they're fucking looking at you right now, and your name was in the title.
Like that.
Yeah, it's not like you're just walking out, like Johnny Carson's like, hey, look, behind the curtain or whatever, like you're here. It's producer Byrnes. You hear us talk about him on the show all the time. He has the hardest job in show business, which is making me and Trae sound decent.
No.
It's true. It's true.
No. This is I do a lot of different things in my daily work, and this is a pretty easy gig, I have to say.
Well, we appreciate that. We're not very complicated. I guess it's pretty straightforward, but I'm glad to have you here today. And I wanted to have Byrnes anyways, because, usually it's so difficult for us to find a good guest host, not because they don't exist, but because all the good ones are good for a reason and they're busy doing shit. You know what I mean?
Yes, I am not busy.
Exactly. Byrnes has nothing going on.
I am available.
Yeah. So I was like, you can just be the permanent, if we guest co-host, because like you're going to have to edit this shit anyways. So like probably helps you out to be on here, and you'll know if I accidentally say something racist, you can cut it out and it'll be fine.
I usually let that stuff slide.
That's true, and that's why our viewership is down. We need you to tell your friends to listen to Putting on Airs. But we are here, and I wanted specifically, though, Byrnes, to have you on today because the Oscars just happened, and you are one of the biggest movie freaks. I thought I was a movie freak. Me and Trae both did, and then you put us to shame.
Oh yeah, I really do. Sometimes you guys are talking, I'm like, these guys don't know what they don't know what they're talking about. Like,
you want to give me an example?
No.
I'm sure it's just been a bunch off the day. Is that like, were you just always, I know you're from Philly, so y'all probably didn't even have a theater growing up.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just street basketball and dog fights.
Yeah. And flaming barrels that, we retell the stories of the movie over as we warm our hands. No, I have always been a big old movie nerd. I can't even really tell you when that began, but what I can tell you about the Oscars is when in 1995, I guess it was, like the Forrest Gump Pulp Fiction year, I was very sick. Like I had like some sort of like stomach disease, and I was out of school. And that day, the day of the Oscars, I went to the doctors, and some doctor I'd never seen before, and he was just like, "So, you gonna watch the Oscars tonight?" And I was like, I don't know. He was like, "Here's my theory." He was like, "I think Forrest Gump and Pulp Fiction are gonna split the vote, and Shawshank Redemption is gonna win." And I was just like, "Wait, what? We can like predict what's gonna got me so excited." So like I like turned to my mom, like that night we like watched the Oscars to see what would happen, and like I was like, I don't know, I was hooked there right away. And I've been like a huge goddamn Oscar nerd ever since. And it's not even like it's not like I respect the Oscars. It's not
it turned movies into a sport, which is the two things you like, which is cool.
Yeah,
no,
really
I've never thought about it like
exactly.
that.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is. You hear people all the time, and I agree with them. Like, Marlon Brando was not a big fan of like Oscars and stuff because he would, and I think rightfully so. He's like, look, man, he's like, art's not a competition. And also it's like, how could, dude, think of how different the movies you just mentioned are. It's like how they're just in the same category. This would never be a thing. Like Pulp Fiction and Forrest Gump are two completely different things, yet they have to compete for each other. Why? And I feel that way artistically, but as as a viewer and as just a person, I'm like, I do like it. It's entertaining to me, and I like to see artists, actors. We all have egos, and so I do think because the Oscars exist, we've gotten a lot of great movies because they had a benchmark to go for. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
Does
I
that
think
make
that's
sense?
probably right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're totally silly. I think anybody that takes them too seriously is like
Yeah,
deluding themselves.
of course.
But like to your point, it does sort of like propel people on to try and do better work. And like it's nice to see certain people at least get their moment in the sun.
Yeah,
And I also enjoy like being mad when they do something stupid.
me too.
You know, it's like and let me tell you, honestly, winning the Oscar, like if you want an Oscar, that's great. Like, sure, like that's fine. But like winning an Oscar, I don't think is actually like good for the legacy of a movie. You know,
Okay.
everybody's because it's like most people will be like, it didn't deserve it. Like take for example, Green Book,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Like
That's
hard
probably the
movie to defend.
the best recent example of like, "Ooh, this one,
Like there's things to object to about like the black character. What's his goddamn name? I forget.
Marshall Ali.
Mahershala,
Mahershala, my
he's the
bad.
best. I love that dude. And like that character, like his family was like, we don't like this movie. You
Right.
know, like so take all of that aside. It's like if that's just a movie that came out, who gives a shit?
Right.
Right? Like, but now it won Best Picture, and all anybody has to say about it is like, fuck that movie. You know,
Right.
so it just kind of puts a target on you. Imagine if Sinners had won Best Picture, you know, I mean, which I think would have been great. But if it had, there would be a lot of people that would be talking shit. And like, then all of a sudden it becomes like, that movie didn't deserve to win Best Picture. Like, it's better to be in a place where, like, wouldn't you rather be Goodfellas than,
Right.
you know, Dances with Wolves? You know,
Right. And
like it worked out better for Goodfellas that it didn't win.
that's actually a really great point. And like now I like and look, man, it's all subjective. Like One Battle After Another was
Yes.
awesome. And we all know everybody knows at this point that like did Paul Thomas Anderson win one for Let There Be Blood? Or There
He
Will Be
never won
Blood?
anything.
Oh, so
This
he's
was his
okay.
first
He
win.
has okay. Well, so we all know the deal in that regard, which is like everyone on earth thinks probably that he should have won for There Will Be Blood, and he didn't.
Not
And
me.
okay, well, put a pin in that because I do want to
Okay.
talk about that. But it's like obviously The Revenant was not Leonardo DiCaprio's best performance, but it's like give it to him because he deserves like this lifetime achievement thing or whatever. And Paul Thomas Anderson was probably the same way. And like there's part of me that goes, yeah, I agree when stuff like that happens in a way, but it's like, oh, not at the what's the word here? My brain doesn't work because I've been on the road all weekend. Not when it fucks over somebody that does deserve it, you know. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's all subjective. It's all whatever. But I kind of agree with you that like now Sinners will always be the movie that should have won, which is a really cool place to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. You get more vocal supporters instead of detractors. You know,
Right.
like
And it's not like Ryan Coogler wasn't going to work for the next 25 years. You know what I mean? If that didn't work out.
I mean, he's going to be just first of all, he got an Oscar for writing, which I think is awesome.
Right.
And secondly, like, yeah, that guy, I feel like that guy's career is just beginning. You know, I mean, like Sinners. I mean, like that's like feels like Spielberg making like, you know, Temple or Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Right.
You know, like this guy's still like this guy's movies are his best movies are ahead of him. I'm sure. I think he's made already amazing stuff.
Oh yeah, dude, he's made great stuff. I mean, I hope you're right that his best stuff is yet to come because that's really exciting for me as someone who's a huge, fan of his. But like, I mean, it's not like, when everybody argue, oh, it should have been Sinners, and I'm like, okay, but it's not like one battle after another was fucking Crash. You know what I mean? Like it was awesome, and it was a huge. So like, what are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? What are you gonna do? What do you think should have won the year that there will be like? Who else was even up? That was like what, 2007?
That's one of the rare years that in my book the Academy got it right. They gave it to No Country for Old Men, which I
Oh,
will
well,
take
never
that.
mind. Okay, never mind. Okay. I forgot that was the same year. What are
Well,
you
a
going to
lot of
do?
people will tell you that they want There Will Be Blood over No Country. I'm not one of those people.
I'm not either.
I'll tell you specifically, there's no music in No Country
None.
for Old Men. There's like
No
no
score,
score
nothing.
whatsoever, which do you know, and the sense of dread that is in that movie, and for it to be as propulsive as it is, like for that movie to make you feel the way that you feel when you're watching it without any music at all. Like I worked in post production for a long time. Music is just absolutely straight up cheat code,
Yeah.
and
But one that you
meanwhile,
should use, you know what I
oh
mean?
yeah, I'm
Like,
not
why
like
not?
against it. I'm just saying, like, if you can achieve what those guys achieved in that movie without leaning on music, it's all the more impressive to me. Is really just my point.
Not only that, too. I mean, first off, I forgot that was the same year. You know, I'm a huge Coen Brothers mark, like huge
Yeah, yeah.
Coen Brothers mark.
Me too.
And
Me too.
but not only was it impressive that they made that decision, but also like for the most part, aside from Blood Simple and insert another one I'm not thinking about here, like that was a different approach to a movie for them. Like it wasn't funny. I mean, there was, don't
Right.
get me wrong, Sugar made me laugh in like his delivery of some things, and like I find the absurdity of some situations funny, but like it wasn't a quirky Coen Brothers movie. It was a
It's not
straight up,
Hudsucker Proxy.
yeah, which by the way, what an underrated gem. Tim Robbins is just
Yes.
beautiful
Yes.
in. It's so
Yeah,
many people haven't
absolutely.
heard of that. Like, I guess maybe because it came out maybe right after Barton Fink and right before
Well,
Lebowski.
it was a flop. It was like really like a
Yeah.
big flop for them. I think it was their most expensive movie at the time for sure. But anyway, I interrupted you.
No, I'm glad you did, because you just brought me to another point that I wanted to make about the Coen brothers. It's like, yeah, that was a big flop for them, but like as far as commercial success goes, if you look at it, most of their movies don't really make that much money, like at all.
No.
But yet they get to keep making them, which I'm glad that they are because they're so great. But isn't that kind of wild that they've had this illustrious career that they've had, yet because most of the time it's like in Hollywood, it's like if you ain't box office, you ain't shit, and you don't get to play in the game. But they're one of the exceptions to the rule. And I mean, Tarantino don't make $1 billion a movie either. Like used to, it was like, you have to be Spielberg and your movies have to be insanely broad or they're not going to work. And the Coens don't operate that way. And
No.
for them to step outside of their lane a little bit and then just nail it, which I mean, look, if you've got Cormac McCarthy as the source material, you're already a couple, plays ahead in the game. But yeah, man, the no music on that was such a crazy decision. And also one that like, it had to be pointed out to me like years later. I was like, oh, wait, hold on. Really? Then I watched it again. And I was like, how? Because you're right.
Yeah.
Like you can only create so much tension with a dolly shot alone. So you need that dun, 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 but not true.
And then
They nailed
meanwhile,
it.
There Will Be Blood. There Will Be Blood has a score that's just screaming at you the whole time to be upset. Like
Yes.
again, no offense. Like I love, like that's a great movie. I'm not really taking shots at that movie, but like if I'm voting on, like that's how I would have made my decision if I were in the Academy, which is something I would kill for, by the way.
And this is where like I want to agree with Brando a lot, because it's like you're right. Both movies are great, but it forces us to pick which one is better. It makes us go like, yeah, well, it's no, this one's better. And it's like that's a weird thing that we think about, but as humans, we always do that. Like we can't. Like it's so funny. People can't hold water for two things at the same time. Like,
yeah, I know. Yeah.
Like someone will be like, hey, are you a Taylor Swift fan? You're like, no, I like Chapel Roan. And it's like, I didn't ask you if you were a Chapel Roan fan. I asked if you were a Taylor Swift fan. You don't have to, you can listen to all of it. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be this competing thing. But with cause yeah, like people are going to like, it's weird to be like, oh, you want to watch No Country for Old Men? Oh, Inglourious Bastards is so much better. I'm like, yeah, no, I watched them both. Like, what? I watched them. I liked them both. It's we have more time than you think, less than you think, but more than you think also. But I will say this, like for all you say like the Coen brothers, it doesn't have, it didn't have a score and how they were able to do that. I think that PTA did a similar thing with There Will Be Blood, where the first 20 minutes of the movie, there's no dialogue at all. And it's just, it's a lot of great John Ford level just cinematography that's amazing with visual storytelling. And like, I'm a huge wrestling fan, so visual storytelling is often all we got. So I do think, but
Right.
that's a hard year. The Academy really had to go through it on which white guy to give the award to that year. You know what I mean? That was very
And
difficult.
Michael Clayton was that year.
Oh my God. Which that's, bro, I've rewatched Michael Clayton maybe more than I've rewatched either of those.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's probably the more fun movie to revisit. I mean,
It's
There Will Be Blood
definitely.
is not exactly a good time.
No, There Will Be Blood and No Country for Old Men both. No Country for Old Men is definitely more rewatchable, which maybe that should be a factor in your voting, you know. But those are two movies where the only time you rewatch them is when you're proudly showing someone who has never seen it and you're so giddy to, you know, to do it. But like Michael Clayton, like I throw that on just when I can't sleep and just like, hell yeah, this movie's it's great. You know,
Yeah.
like dude, Tom
Yeah,
Wilkinson in that movie is just such a fucking lunatic. Like it's that what a year for movies. Jesus
that
God.
was just a hell of a year.
That's
Yeah,
not
and,
even fair.
And I think we had just even a better year. I think. I mean, like that's what I
Okay.
think. You know, say what you
We had
will.
a better year
Yeah,
this year?
I think so. Yeah,
Go
I think
on.
we had more better movies. I think that we had just so many great movies this year. I had by my count, I gave 6 5-star reviews on my Letterboxd account this year, which is I think a lot. I think
It is
last
a
year
lot.
maybe or 2 years ago, I think I maybe did like 1 or 2. But like I thought it was a great fucking year. I mean, my favorite movie of the year was Eddington, and I think that that's a movie that will be in time really, really looked at in high regard. Like I walked out of the theater being like, did I just see the 21st century Chinatown? Like I like thought.
Wow,
Like, that's what I thought I
that's a
walked
cool
out.
comp. I like that
Yeah,
comp. And I
well,
I
because
think
like
you're
both
right
sort
with
of movies. I'm just gonna say like both sort of movies are like sort of like there's some sort of conspiracy happening in the background where like the future is being built by like shady power and like I mean I think Eddington almost does an even better job of what they do in Chinatown in that regard.
Wow.
But I mean I've seen that movie 4 times now. I'm like fully like obsessed with that film.
Yeah.
And
You recommended that one to me and it was already on my
that's right,
list.
yeah.
It was already on my list to watch. Like I knew I wanted to watch it because A24 has sort of got me by the balls. And by the way, that's not because I like everything they do or because I think they're the best, but they've done a really good job of making themselves seem like a thing you need to watch, even if it's just to have a conversation about it. Like, even if you don't like it, just like, hey, A24 is hot. Everybody's going to have watched it. I like talking to people about movies. I better see it, you know?
I mean, A24's. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead, please. Always interrupt me.
Say what you will about A24. I mean, I know they have a lot of detractors, but like they're funding movies and filmmakers that the studios stopped doing. You know, they're filling. They're like moneyballing it. You know, like,
We'll build it in the aggregate.
Inefficiency. Yeah, and like I think I like that they make movies that I don't like.
Me too.
You know, it's like I shouldn't like everything being able to be like a C plus, like so that like you're not so that everybody's into it. Who gives a shit? Like I don't want to watch stuff like that.
No, they take big swings, which like again, when you take a big swing, it's either going to hit or miss, but at least you swung, you know. I don't want you to stand there and look at the third strike go past, and they certainly do not do that, you know, with everything they do. And so you recommended Eddington to me, and I was like, okay, it was already on my watch list, but Byrnes is my friend. I also respect his opinion on the movie. I'm watching it tonight, right? So watched it, and like I told you I was watching it, and like, boy, you were so excited. You were like, please tell me.
I was very excited.
And like, dude, I'm not going to give away anything, but like the only movie where I've been like, holy shit, we're almost over halfway through and now it's a different movie. It's like that and From Dusk Till Dawn. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
where I was
a little bit.
I was like, I knew that it was this, but I didn't know it was this. And then once it becomes this, it becomes that. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I agree with you that time will remember it well, because the one, and it wasn't even a critique, because I was like, this isn't their fault. And I said, matter of fact, this is a great thing that they've done. Because we're so close in proximity to COVID, and this was a COVID movie, my skin was crawling because of how accurate a lot of it was. And also I didn't realize how much like, you know, trauma that and, you know, not like obviously, I wasn't shot in the war, but like like reminding me of the stuff that we'd went through and like tried to forget was like really uncomfortable. But like sometimes that is what a movie's going for, and not every movie's trying to be Die Hard. And it's like, no, we want you to sit in your bullshit, and like they're doing a lot of that, which is neat. What were your other 5-star movies of last year?
Before I'll get to that in a second, I do just want to say, like, in response to what you're saying, like, I mean, that's what's the movie's so great about. Like, that's why I love it, because to me, the movie is a little bit like getting slapped in the face, like, but in a good, when somebody's like saying, snap out of it. You know, It was like almost like holding up. It's like, it was like I got to look in a mirror, like post pandemic or whatever, and like take a look at myself and be like, I don't like everything I see here. You know, like it's you have to be willing to go there to enjoy that movie. But to answer your question, my other 5-star movies, Sinners and One Battle, I both have as 5-star movies. I also have Marty Supreme as a 5-star movie. I watched that again last night. That movie,
I enjoyed it.
And then my other 2 5-star movies are our Black Bag by Soderbergh.
Couldn't agree more.
Fucking perfect movie.
It's perfect. And it is one of those where it's like the rare movie where it's like the audience and the critics all agree this rules. You know what I mean? It hardly ever happens anymore, but like when it does, oh my God.
It just moves along, and like it's so like enjoyable to watch, in the sense that like everybody looks great, the clothes are great, the scenes look great. Yeah, it's like, you got Fassbender and Blanchett. Come on. Like, I mean, so anyway, I love that movie. And then finally, this Filipino movie, I think, Magellan by this filmmaker Lev Diaz, starring Gael Garcia Bernal as Magellan, which is, it's like I would not really recommend it to people, to be honest, because it's a very, 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 very slow movie. It would be almost impossible to watch at home on the couch. Like, you have to like lock yourself in a theater and make sure someone has your phone.
Right. And like, you paid for it. It's like, I'm not losing $40, you know, so.
Right. Yeah. You have to like commit yourself to it. But once you do, because it's like, the thing about slow cinema is like, you'll just sit on one shot of like guys like languishing on a ship in the middle of the Pacific for like 2 minutes, and like nothing happens. But I'm
a big fan of a shot of 2 men languishing on a ship in the Pacific. That's a big genre of mine that I'm for.
Yeah, for sure. I believe that 100%.
Yeah.
But it just gives you time to like think. It just gives you tons of time to think, and which is not your typical movie experience, right? Like, you're usually being told what to think.
Right.
And this movie, about like the ridiculousness and like the folly of Magellan, is to me, I was like, it's like, buddy, what were you thinking?
We've been asking that question for years, and finally a Filipino man answered it. And, you know,
and in that regard, like, yeah, I mean, it's a hard movie to recommend because it's a very like committed, difficult watch. But at the same time, like, I spent like 2 full therapy sessions talking about that movie after I saw it.
Well, not for nothing, but I mean, you've seen some of the emails I've read from the airheads in here are great fans. I mean, a lot of them are all for a slow burn, you know, depressing ass, something like that. So I think you've got the best audience to recommend this movie too.
Well, maybe. That's what I like about Putting On Airs, because it is, despite everything, it is a thinking man's podcast.
Oh, that's right, son. Absolutely.
Despite itself.
Yeah, that's right. We are up our own ass, yet for the proletariat at the same time. We are, you know.
Up our own ass for the proletariat. There's some merch for you.
Yeah, that's great. We do this a lot with our beards, but often it's to get mayonnaise out of it. You know what I mean?
Oh man, excuse me. Anyway,
but do you think also this is kind of? I thought of this while you were saying that. Like, you're like, man, I had like 6 5-star movies this year, and you made the bold claim that this year might be one of the better years for movies in recent years. And obviously we think about, but now that you mention it, the Michael Clayton No Country for Old Men, and there would be like, it's a crazy year. And then of course Shawshank, Forrest Gump, all that. And then I mean 99, there's a whole book on why
Craziest year.
99 might have been the best, you know.
Yeah.
But there's part of me that goes, you know what? There's something of all these movies and everything we're talking about this year. There's a big glaring omission. Hardly any superhero movies this year. And I think that we really, as a culture, needed a year that. Oh, remember just movies? You remember just a movie that was a movie, and there was no, I need to watch this sequel and I need to watch it. Like, it's just a movie. And I can't remember it off the top of my head how all of them are, but like I looked at like the top 10 highest grossing movies of this year, and like refreshingly, I think only like 3 or 4 of them were either sequels or reboots. Whereas in the past 5 or 6 years, it's been like all of them, you know. But there were so many original movies that were made this year, and that has to stand for something in your assessment of why it's a great year, correct?
I definitely agree with that. I mean, it's and I think well, sorry, I'm falling all over my my words because I want to find the box office list that you just said.
That's okay, please. I'm sure I'm wrong.
20. No, I don't. I'm sure you're right. Although well, let's see. We have.
You know what
well,
I almost just said to you? I
that,
swear to God, I almost just said to you, don't worry, we'll have Byrnes edit it.
Well, Byrnes will get it edited down just fine. Don't you worry. Well, let's see. The number 1 movie of the year was actually a Chinese film called an animated sequel called Neja 2, which I think you can watch on Netflix if you want.
Okay.
But what's interesting about that is like the Chinese basically have like stopped watching our movies. Like they won't even take most of them. And like they've spent the last like 10 to 20 years like learning how to make Hollywood movies, and now are like, fuck you and your movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's yeah. So
and
the fact
for
that
an action movie, for an action movie back in the day, like you had to get that market. You know what I mean? It was like, yeah, we're going to do good domestically, but like we're really going to blow up when it goes to, you know, Asia, because like they're all over our shit. But so I did not know. I'd never even heard of that movie. I'll check it out though.
I'll be interested to hear what you think. Okay. Anyway, I do to your point, like, yeah, way less superhero movies, way less franchise movies. I mean, and even in the case where like we did have some, like the Minecraft movie came out last year, right?
Right.
And they make this. This is not a point that I made. They make this on the Big Picture podcast. Like, it's Minecraft it's IP, yes, but at least it's like brand new IP. Like IP for children for the past 20 years has been like, here's another version of the Ninja Turtles. Like this is like the first like fresh IP for like Generation Alpha or whatever you want to call them, where they're like getting their own thing. So even that is like sort of refreshing, you know?
Yeah.
But yes, with Marvel sort of like clearing out. I mean, I guess they did have Fantastic Four and whatever the other one was. The Florence Pugh one.
Oh my God,
the new Avengers or whatever.
The new Avengers, but Thunderbolts.
And there was Red Hulk. Let's not forget Harrison Ford as Red Hulk.
That's true. Captain America, Brave New World. And by the way, I enjoyed all of those movies, but it's just like after Endgame, it's sort of like trying to jerk it again 5 minutes after you busted it. It's like, I want to do this. I really want to do this, but it won't let me, you know. It will not let me.
So funny. That's exactly right, Corey.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
But here's the thing too. Like I don't have, everybody always wants to go like, oh, the guy got to quit doing stuff that's just based on IP and stuff. I'm like, well, IP is not the enemy here, because if you think about it, like, I mean, dude, so many of the movies that we like, Forrest Gump and Shawshank Redemption, are based on IP. That IP is just a Stephen King book and another guy. Like, we've always made great movies based on books. We don't now, but we only, we don't consider that IP anymore. It's like, well, no, what we mean by IP is like, you know, the Marvels and the video games and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, I mean, movies have always taken stories from different mediums. And I agree with you that I'd rather see a fresh movie than the 16th sequel of something. But like, let's not throw IP completely under the bus, because there are some great novels that need to be turned into movies still, you know?
Absolutely. And I like to make the case for remakes, because I mean, that is like superhuman thing. Like, storytelling begins as the oral tradition, right? Where one generation is retelling their story to the next generation. So to me, it makes sense actually to like remake The Karate Kid. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure.
maybe I'm not going to go see The Karate Kid, but like, I don't think it's like the end of the world that they do remakes.
No, as long as you make it your own or something. Like, I mean, I agree because, like, dude, there's so many movies that people don't realize we're like, well, I mean, all that is Shakespeare. Like, that's just Shakespeare, you know?
Right.
And at a certain point, like, you have told as many stories. You've got to, it's like, look, everybody's done everything. Like, you know, the hero's journey is always going to be the template for a movie. And just because it's been done a million times doesn't mean you shouldn't make your own and just have your original characters and have all this stuff and whatever. And no, I agree. Like for instance, True Grit, you know, the Coen brothers. Like, dude, number one, it's great when you remake one that like hadn't been done in a very, very long time and like, you know, might need a fresh update. And then I think they did it better, you know, of course. In my opinion. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the Duke as Rooster Cogburn or whatever. I grew up watching that kind of stuff. But like, now there's instead of old heads being mad, like, oh, you can't recreate True Grit. God damn it, that's a John Wayne movie. Instead of being mad, why don't you go, oh, great, my kids will now see this because it's new. And then that will be a window into me going, do you want to see the original one? You know what I mean?
Agreed.
In a way, it gives the thing you love that you don't want them to ruin a brand new audience that might appreciate it. You know what I mean?
And interestingly enough, True Grit, that's the Coen brothers' highest grossing movie. That movie made, how much money do you think that movie made?
$102 million.
$252 million.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
Like, talk about something that wouldn't happen today. Like that just wouldn't happen today.
No, and by the way, $102 million would have been a great Coen brothers turnout. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's why I thought about
reasonable. Great guess. Not even halfway there though.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, one of the reasons they can do stuff like that is like they don't use CGI and they keep their budgets down in the way that they can. And I know, like, you just know that most of those actors that work with the Coen brothers are saying, like, hey, look, I'll do it for this and just give me back end points because, like, obviously, you can't pay me what this studio would, but I want to work with you guys and I love this story, and that's what I want to do. Was it you that made this point, or did I just see it somewhere and thought that's a Byrnes take and I love it? But I saw somewhere somebody was like, why aren't we remaking bad movies that were based on good stories but the filmmaker didn't pull it off?
Oh yeah,
and I'm like, that's such a good idea. Like we shouldn't just let like what's the Stephen King, The Tower or whatever, like the Gunslinger and all that stuff. Like, don't just let that be a thing that never gets to get made again because they fucked it up. Like, let somebody else do it, or like turn it into a series. You know what I mean? We don't need another insert. This was a great movie, so we're going to do it a million times. Like, no, take the things that we were excited about and the director or whatever, the editing process just screwed it up and just run it back. You know what I mean?
Take a look at Dune.
There you go.
I'm a huge David Lynch fan, and I love David Lynch's Dune, but I don't know that I love David Lynch's Dune for the right movies, for the right reasons.
Sure.
You know? And now we have this whole, they just released the images for the third one today, I think. And so it should be, I think there's a lot to be said for that point, but it doesn't even need to be like a huge, like recognizable name like that either.
No, actually better if it's not. Better if it's not, honestly, because then people won't know it's a remake. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So anyway, should we maybe take a break, Corey?
We should. I'm so glad you're here because you remember to do that. Let's take a break and we will be right back right after this.
Y'all, it's 2026, and if you're still paying rent without Built, it's time for a change. Built is the loyalty program for renters that rewards you for your biggest monthly expense. And for most everybody, that's rent. You know, with Built, every rent payment earns you points that can be used towards flights, hotels, Lyft rides, Amazon.com purchases, and a ton of other things. And here's something that I really like. Starting in February, now, Built members can earn points on mortgage payments for the first time. I'm pumped because, surprisingly, I am a homeowner. Soon you'll be able to get rewarded wherever you live and unlock exclusive benefits with more than 45,000 restaurants, fitness studios, pharmacies, and other neighborhood partners Personally, I'm probably gonna redeem all of my points if they have like if you can get the Millennium Falcon in Lego, I'd do that because they're getting a little pricey now. But probably flights. I mean, that's more pragmatic, I guess. But it's simple, y'all. Paying rent is better with Built. Paying your mortgage is better with Built, and soon owning a home will be too. I already said that. I'm an idiot. You can do that now. Earn rewards and get something back wherever you live. Join the loyalty program for renters and now homeowners at joinbuilt.com/POA. That's JOINBILT.com/POA. And make sure to use our URL so they know that we sent you. Built. Get built. Skew. Y'all, somewhere between the first warm weekend and realizing it's short season, and also the Masters is getting here, and eating well stops feeling optional. You want to get back in that beach bod. For me personally, it's getting back my spring and summer clothes and going, oh no, these do not fit like I wanted them to. So, Factor is how I have stopped letting a busy schedule be my excuse, because they're fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs, ready in 2 minutes. No planning, no cooking, just quality functional ingredients. And lean proteins, colorful veggies, whole food ingredients, healthy fats, no refined sugars, none of that, just stuff that you don't need. It's also convenient because you just heat it and eat it, baby. It's fresh, never frozen. It's ready in about 2 minutes. How about that? You got 2 minutes? I got 2 minutes. There's 100 rotating weekly meals to keep things fresh and delicious through winter. They've got GLP-1 support. They got calorie smart Mediterranean diet, all that good stuff. And like I said, it's just right there. Boom. In your fridge, fresh, never frozen. 2 minutes. Head to factormeals.com/POA 50 off and use code POA 50 off to get 50% off and free breakfast for a year. Offer only valid for new Factors customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Make healthier eating easy with Factor.
Hey everybody, we are back. And in the break, I found out something absolutely insane that I need to tell you all. Byrnes has watched this year's Oscars twice. That is one of the craziest sentences I've ever heard in my entire life. And let me ask you first off the bat, was it because you were like, well, I'm going to be talking about it on this podcast, or my wife interrupted me when I was watching it the first time, or are you just genuinely that much of a goddamn sicko?
The answer is a little bit of all three. Big time because I'm on here. I didn't mind watching it a second time at all. I will admit, I was too drunk and high when I was watching it the first time. To be perfectly
I had to
honest.
go watch. I had to go back and see the Batman a second time because I went to a theater that I didn't know served alcohol, and we just got completely bombed before I peed on myself. This is like 2 years ago.
Wow.
I shouldn't have done that. Yeah,
you are the best. You are the best.
Yeah. So, but you watched it again. I do have some questions. Number one, I have to assume that Conan murdered.
Conan pretty much murdered. There was some, not everything murdered. I was surprised. I thought his first one was better, but still, the king, the GOAT. I don't want to see anybody else do it. Way better than anybody else.
He's the Billy Crystal of this current generation. Where it's almost like, good, we found a guy. We don't even have to book anything. Just let him do it. We know it's going to be good.
Let him do it. He's perfect for it. He was great. He fucking made a joke, basically. He had the joke at the beginning where he was talking about how this was the first time in 15 years that no Brits were nominated for an acting award.
No kidding.
Yeah, which was you're sitting there that's a crazy fact. And then he goes, maybe the key difference between us and them is that they arrest their pedophiles.
That's tremendous.
Wow, it really was. Yeah. And Ted Sarandos was there as well, and he was really going at Sarandos. He was like, "This is what we call a theater. This is Ted Sarandos' first time in a theater," and then he was just going hard at Sarandos, which was nice. I do want to show you something. I'm going to
Please.
A quick GIF, audioless GIF. They, the song "Golden" from K-pop Demon Hunters.
Okay. I didn't know that's what it was called, but yes, and I'd heard it, because it's been that movie was bananas cultural phenomenon, And so
Yes.
I have heard it several times, but I didn't get to watch it all the way through, but this weekend I was in Jacksonville at the Players Championship, and I was staying with my buddy and his wife and their 2 kids, and they are big K-pop Demon Hunters fans, and that's not been introduced in our household, so I didn't get to watch it all the way through, but I got to see a little bit of it, and I was like, okay, I get it. I get, like maybe not for bike, I get it. It's a colorful and stuff. So yeah, I'm familiar with the song.
So big deal. They obviously did a live performance, and before they did the live performance, they handed out to the audience these like flashing lights so they could have like an extra visual thing. Anyway, somebody did a tweet that I just think that made me laugh really hard, and I want you to see it. Do you see it?
Yes. For those of you that are just listening, it is a bunch of Hollywood elites sitting there holding electrical lights. And the person has captioned it, "Me and my homies taunting the Amish." Oh man,
that's too good. That killed me. That killed me. That made me laugh so hard. I was like, I can't wait to show this. So anyway, yes.
Did that win for best animated? I assume
it did win. One for best animated, one for best song. They hilariously cut them off when they were giving the speech for best song. And they cut to this big wide as they're going to commercial, where like you could see them, and you can't hear them. They're clearly still talking, and then they shut the light down on them, and the microphone then recedes into the ground.
Hilarious.
It was it's like, just cut the commercial already. Why are you letting us see this? This is so fucking painful.
It's funny because that seems like a Conan bit, but it wasn't. It just actually happened. He
actually responded. He when they came back, he laughed. He's like, it is hysterical to lower a microphone on someone while they're speaking. It's like, that's the funniest thing I ever saw.
It is. So, what were the big for you? Any big surprises or letdowns? Like obviously we talked at the top of the show, you think the Academy got it right with one battle after another because you're racist and you hate the South.
That's right.
Both of those things are true. You hate black people and Southerners, and that movie is chock full of how are you on the Irish? You gotta like them from Philly,
I'm like as Irish as they get.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But still, no, they're trouble too.
Oh, that's why you didn't like the fucking movie. It didn't even cross my mind. Like, you're super Irish, and they're like, "Oh, why are they painting us all as a bunch of racists? We don't like that,
No, that ain't it. I fucking loved Sinners. Are you kidding me? And awesome. The Irish shit's like the best. And the Irish shit's not the best part, but the fact that Coogler has so much interest in the Irish part of things, it just makes the movie that much bigger, so I was happy to see Sinners get whatever it could get. I was surprised to see Michael B. Jordan win Best Actor. I thought that was awesome. Did
you think Chalamet had it wrapped up?
It seemed that I thought he did a month ago. Yeah, right. I really thought, first of all, I thought that was one of the most fun Oscar races we've ever seen. I would have been happy if anyone won.
Sure.
I thought that all 5 of those performances were amazing. Did you see Blue Moon with Ethan Hawke?
No, I purchased it because I knew I wanted to watch it and it wasn't available on streamers. That's where he plays
It's on Netflix. It's on Netflix, Corey.
Yeah, but it wasn't when it
no, it's not. I'm wrong. I take that back. It's not on
Okay, Netflix. I was about to say, even if it is, it wasn't at the time because it was only, I was like, you have to buy it or whatever. And I didn't even know, dude, I swear to you, I knew nothing of the movie. I just knew, it was like, a new Ethan Hawke movie and I really like him. And I saw that he was playing, all I know is he's playing an older gentleman short and he's the producer of a Broadway something. What is it again? He's something.
Lorenz Rogers and Hart. He's Lorenz Hart.
Okay.
So there's Rogers and Hammerstein, right?
Yes. Right.
The music. Before Rogers and Hammerstein, it was Rogers and Hart.
Okay. Well, that's going to be my shit. So this is an old Hollywood thing,
dude. That's why and Ethan Hawke. That's just it. I kind of would have liked to see Ethan Hawke win the Oscar last night. Elder statesman. He's been around forever. He's always been making cool shit, making cool decisions. And it's just such a bravura performance. And he gets lost in it and it fucking cracks your heart open. It's a great part.
Well, I'm a
And then
sucker for old Hollywood. Now that you
you
mention
will
that,
love it.
like that, now that you mention it, it's like in any other year, he probably would have won the Oscar because Hollywood loves to jerk itself off, So
You would think that it is. I mean, it's just a testament to what a strong year it was. Like, I mean, there were a lot of awards that it was hard for me to be disappointed because I liked almost all the movies. I was
Right.
not into Hamnet. And I would have preferred to have seen my cousin Rose take it home last night
That's
instead of
right.
Jesse.
And what a gem. Yeah.
Rose Byrne, she really is a gem. She
She's
really is a
unbelievable.
goddamn gem. She's just so charming. She's so fun to root for. Like, I love
Right.
that show with Seth Rogen that she has on Apple. I don't even watch that much TV,
Right.
but the Platonic show she does with Rogen,
yeah.
it's just like she's just got charisma for days.
Yeah,
and
and this goes for men or women, and it's God doesn't often put such a hilarious person in such an aesthetically pleasing face, and but like it's like how did you get I thought we had to be damaged and made fun of our whole lives to be funny, but there's no way you were, because you're gorgeous and you're hilarious, funnier than everybody. I'm
Maybe
sure I'm being sexist right now, but that's how I feel.
No, I think that there is something. I think that is a fair thing to say. Like, part of being funny or interesting or whatever is a reaction to being ugly.
A defense mechanism to something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, and I mean, who knows? She could have been. Maybe she was gangly as hell. She could have been awkward.
Her dad might have beat her. We have no idea. Is she from Philly? Because if she is, then he definitely did.
No, she's from. You know who she's married to?
Yes, but I forget.
Bobby Cannavale.
That's right. Who I also love.
It's like charisma points for days. Like, they must,
dude.
I mean, like, I don't know if I could survive a dinner with them. I think I'd like overdose on charm.
Let me tell you something about Bobby. I'm so tired of him being a relief pitcher or whatever. I want him to have so many more things. And like, I don't know if it's just something hadn't clicked. And like, obviously, like, just because a script is good doesn't mean the movie's going to be good, or the show. Like, when he did, I was so excited about Vinyl because it was him and it was music and stuff, and it just didn't click. But it wasn't his fault. Like, nothing.
No, it wasn't his fault.
Anything he's ever been in that was bad had nothing to do with him. It had not a thing to do with him. And I'm like, please let something click for this guy where he can. I want him to have his Oscars moment, because I think he can. He's tremendous. But yeah, those two together, dude, their kid's going to be president.
I mean, it is. Yeah, it's wild, right? If you like Bobby Cannavale, he's also in Blue Moon.
Amazing.
Ethan Hawke. Yeah.
Amazing. Who does he play? Like, what's his role in there?
It could be.
Does he run a nightclub? Does he run a nightclub?
He's a bartender.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it was going to be one of them two. Yeah, anybody that looked like him in the 40s, they were of service. I'm certain in the movie.
That's so funny. You nailed it.
Yep.
So you didn't watch the Oscars at all?
Not a bit. I was driving, and again, I wanted to hear it all from you and experience it all from you. And but yeah, no, I was driving all day, the Oscars were Sunday. I wasn't driving.
So you don't have an excuse.
I do. I was at the Players Championship, and that was the final round.
That's
and
right.
I was dosed out of my mind on every single thing possible. And that's why I didn't watch it. But either way, no, I wanted to experience it through you. And so I don't even know who. Like, I know who won Best Actor, Michael B. Jordan. I know who won Best Picture, because those were the tweets that I couldn't get away from. But I do not know who won Best Actress. If I had to guess, it's either the girl from Hamnet, which I didn't see, or Emma Stone from Begonia. But I have to assume that it was the girl from Hamnet, because surely if Emma Stone won another one, that would have blown up and I'd have seen it everywhere.
It was the girl from Hamnet, Jessie Buckley.
Okay, Jessie Buckley. She's great. I'm sorry for calling her the girl from Hamnet. I just couldn't think of it.
Look, I don't think she's a household name.
Yeah,
at this
she
point.
will be.
Look, she's crazy talented, and I think was definitely somebody who was like, from the first time you saw her, you're like, oh, this is somebody who's going to win an Oscar.
Yeah.
But man, if you want to win an Oscar and you're a woman, just play a grieving mother. They cannot avoid it. They cannot resist it.
And me and Amber have talked about this so many times, and this is one of the reasons I haven't seen Hamnet yet, even though like I love Shakespeare and like that's a movie that you'd think would be important for me to watch for this show. But like now that I'm a dad, I'm still not there enough to be able to. I know I'll get there because I know there's plenty of people that saw that movie have kids and it made them uncomfortable and they could handle it. Me and Amber are not at that point yet, and we actually talk all the time about how like now that we have a kid, we're like, was there always kids dying in shows and movies and it just didn't affect us, or is this a new thing? And it turns out it's like, no, we go back. Yeah. It's like, man, because it's like, you said music is such a cheat code. For drama, a dead child is like, pop, you know what I mean? Like, how can you beat it? You know?
Forget it.
But like, I mean, I remember Manchester by the Sea destroying me when it came out, and it was freaking 15 years ago. Bro, I could not sit through that shit now. There is no way in hell. Because now I know exactly, but I'll tell you this: I've thought about that scene of him when he pulls the gun out and is like going to do suicide by cops. I'm like, I get that. Like that's exactly how I'd react too. That's a real moment.
Yeah.
You know? That's exactly, he nailed that one. But anyway, so she won for Hamnet. Any other surprises?
Well, it was a pretty wide open year this year, for the most part. So I don't know exactly if there were surprises. It was just kind of like you kind of anticipated a lot of awards going different ways. So like Best Supporting Actress, like Teyana Taylor won the Golden Globe. There's been a lot of discourse around that role. So like I was definitely
What role was that?
Perfidia Beverly Hills.
Okay.
It from One Battle After Another.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Enjoyed it. The controversy around that is not though that she was not good in the role. There's a lot of people that are using the like, well, this is just another white savior thing, correct?
I mean, I think that she's a complicated character. I think a lot of people are not happy to see a black revolutionary, especially a female black revolutionary, maybe like be portrayed as a rat or whatever. It's like that wasn't my read of the character. I was very sympathetic to that character. If I think anybody watching that movie would snitch on their fucking grandmother, like with half the pressure put on them. Like, I mean, let's be real. Come on. But anyway, look, it's a white man writing and directing this movie based on a book where like none of the characters are black. So he's like made this very obvious decision, and but I mean, it's very easy for me to talk about as a white guy, but like I think it's a little weird to say that like a black character can't be messy.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I mean, I don't think obviously
that's literally a trope. Like magical Negro racist trope, like is something that Sidney Poitier battled his whole career. For him to be able to like take on the Mr. Tibbs role, where he gets to like slap a white guy, like he had to fight for that his whole goddamn career. Like that was something that like never would have happened when he was getting started. Like Hollywood never would have done that. So I think there is something to be said for allowing a character that's not perfect.
I agree. Because look, man, I mean, true equality would be we all recognize that no matter what color, creed, nationality you are, you too can be a piece of shit. You know what I mean? I remember the first time I met a gay person I didn't like, and I was like, you know what I mean? Like, because
so funny.
There for a moment, I overcorrected and just assumed, well, yeah, they're gay, so I love gay people. They're all great. And it's like, yeah, but they're still people. You know what I mean? And like sometimes,
first and foremost, they are people.
They are people, and people suck. It doesn't matter what you know what I mean? So yeah, like true equality is letting gay people and black people, Mexicans be pieces of shit on film. That's not an exclusive white thing to be a piece of shit. Now we go hard in the paint. We do it better than anyone has ever done it. Don't get me wrong. Don't come for the crown yet, but you're allowed to be in the league. Come on, you know what I mean?
Just don't do it to us.
Exactly.
Just be nice to us.
Be nice to us and you're good. That's the rule.
Yeah. But anyway, she didn't win. I thought she was going to win for those reasons, but it wound up being Amy Madigan from Weapons.
Okay. Oh, dude. Well, hey, Amy, that was Weapons came out also. Yeah. Jesus God. What, by the way, somehow doesn't Sinners feel like it came out 5 years ago somehow, not last year? Like this has been the longest year.
Yeah, it came out like this time last year. I think it was
Right.
actually April, but it's been out forever already. Like,
Yeah, and that's another thing too with like recency bias has to have a lot to do with it. It's like a lot of good, your summer blockbusters are your summer blockbusters, but then also, right towards the tail end, Marty Supreme comes out and it's like, we live in a very what have you done for me lately society, so I know a lot of that gets colored by that. And speaking of Chalamet, by the way, amazing performance. Love the movie. And
yeah,
I got to tell you,
absolutely.
going into it, I was a little, I was like, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm going to watch it, but like them Safdies, they really make me want to have a panic attack. But this one, because I loved Uncut Gems, but it's a movie that I go, I
Oh
loved
yeah,
it. Never will see it again in my life. Get it away from me. But I
yeah,
loved it. Marty Supreme, not the case. I'll watch it again tonight. Like I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was entertaining as hell. But I do want to, before we go, we have to talk about, something that's a thing in Oscars that's the competition that's not a thing in sports is like in sports, you just play the game and whoever wins, wins. There's no campaign. There's no like me, your campaign to win the Super Bowl is you playing in the games and winning them. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Whereas for the Oscars, your performance, it's like you can't just let it speak for itself. You'd like to let it speak for itself, but like you can't. You got to go on the promotional run. You got to do all this stuff. And for the most part, actually all of it, like Chalamet's was, I loved watching his promo run. Most of the time they get on my nerves because I know that it's like that's all they're doing is they're just going out there to, but his was fun. He did a lot of crazy things, like he was the guest picker on College Game Day, and he was doing a lot of wild podcasts, and he was just being a lot of fun. And I was like, oh, this is refreshing. I enjoy this. And like there was part of me that was like, I kind of hope he wins it, but then I was like, I don't know, Michael B. Jordan might have done a better job, but whatever. Regardless, the point is, right at the end, it's like he was having this great promotional run, and it was like he dropped the ball right on the 1 yard line, but it was by making an offhand joke about how nobody wants to see opera or ballet anymore, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think voting was just about closed at that point, but yeah, he caught a
Right.
lot of. He said basically I thought that was. I'm pro Chalamet. I'm very pro
Me
Chalamet. I
too,
think he's
yeah.
good for movies, and I thought that the arguments around that were bad faith. Like he was not being as respectful as he could have been, but
He was just
making
being
the
funny.
point that like he wants people to go to the movies. He's talking
Right.
about like the fact that like people are going to stop going to the movies, and then maybe he's going to be in an art form that was like more respected in the past. And it's like, as movie lovers, how is that not something that like we can get behind? Like, it's very fair to say that opera and ballet are not at the center of the culture. Like, let's be real, And
Right.
so like,
and I'm fine
and, like,
with,
and everybody's like, and since when? What? Everybody's coming out into the streets to defend opera and ballet. Like, what?
I know.
What? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like we were psyoped into it. Like who the fuck? Oh yeah, you care so much? When was the last
Right.
time you went to the opera?
Thank
Get
you.
the fuck out of here.
That's what I was going to say. Like the only person who talked shit about Chalamet that I go, you're allowed to do this and I respect you for it, was Nathan Lane, because that he goes to the opera and the ballet.
Did Nathan Lane say something?
Yeah, he was on the. I just saw a clip. He was on The View, and like he didn't shit on him too hard, but he was talking about who he was. So Chalamet and Matthew McConaughey or whatever, and Nathan Lane made the point. He goes, who decided that this assembly of minds was necessary? Like, why do we care? And I thought that was such a great line. But like, obviously he loves the opera and ballet, and like and he's a big Broadway guy. And so obviously he respects all those things. But I think he also understood, like, look, man, this wasn't like something he thought about before and this huge opinion he has. It was just a spur of the moment joke. And it's easy to shit on the opera and ballet. And again, Nathan Lane can do that. But I've seen a bunch of people on Twitter talking about, like, when the fuck have you seen Black Swan lately? Are you season ticket holders down at the Met? Get the fuck out of it. You don't care. And by the way, the box office proves that not that many people give a shit. Like, imagine someone going like, what do you mean? We all love women swimming. Get the fuck out of here. No, we don't. You know what I mean?
All I can say about the Timothy Chalamet thing is that everybody wants to hate him. And is like, well, I remember in the mid 90s when everybody wanted to hate Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yep.
What all the dudes did. Like, guys were like, fuck Brad Pitt, fuck Leo. It's like, and now they're our favorites. And it's like Chalamet is the fucking. I mean, he's the same thing. He's getting, like, look at the movie he's getting made. Like, I don't think, that's a point.
Robert too. I think Robert Pattinson too. Like, yeah.
Like Emma Stone, like if she would have won again last night, I'd have been all for it, because like if you look at her resume, all she does is get cool shit made.
Yeah.
She's working with Ari Aster. She's working with Nathan Fielder. You know, like she's not doing superhero shit. Like she's like making all of these weird Yorgos Lanthimos movies. Like, and you know, whether or not you like them, I'm just, again, like, I'm happy they exist. Like everybody complains about like all the superhero movies and like this and that. There are plenty of other movies being made. There are plenty of other movies
there really
being
are.
made. And like, you just need to show up and support them. Like, it's not like you even have to dig that deep to find them. I mean, sure, there are like, if you want to be a fucking total freak like me and dig for like the insane indie releases and like hang out at like Tarantino's theaters, sure, like that's available to you too. But I mean, like, yeah, Begonia got nominated for Best Picture, you know, Best Score, Best Actress. Like, you know, it's and I just I think that she deserves tons of credit for getting like shit like that to the theater.
I couldn't agree more. I love everything she's like. You know, when I saw, like, obviously, I think most everybody's introduction to her was Superbad, which in its own right is like, you know, people go like, oh yeah, it's like, you wouldn't think after she did Superbad that she'd do all this good. And I'm like, well, first off, Superbad's a cool shit movie too, and she nailed it.
Superbad's a great movie.
It's one of the best, like, what, I don't know if you'd call it a coming of age comedy or just a buddy comedy, but like it holds up. It's amazing. Like it was, I wish that my only, you know, I don't like it when people say that they're not making good movies anymore. I think that's stupid, but I think we can all agree they're not making as much of those comedies anymore that we would love to see them make. And yeah, I think I knew as soon as I saw her in that movie, I was like, this is going to be a star. I don't think I quite knew that it would be to the level that it is, because I in my mind I probably thought like she'll be a big star, she'll be Mary Jane Watson, or she'll be which she will.
She's the next Julia Roberts.
Yeah, exactly. And she's doing a bunch of this artsy, you know, art house like Brando type stuff, which I love, and it's like she's like, if she didn't want to do, there's so many of these movies that do not get made if she doesn't take that role. And I know she knows that. And I don't think she does it as like, let me be this hero. I think she's just like, yeah, I'm in this, I've got more money than I'll ever need. I'm in this unique position to where like, I don't have to be one of 50 MCU people. I can just do this and we'll get this made. And I like you know what it is? She likes to act. She likes to act. And I think Chalamet likes to act.
Yeah. And if you like, and there's just not movie stars like there used to be. There's not as many people that are as big as they can be. Like, I think that they recognize the opportunities in front of them. And like, you can't, like, I mean, if another person that I really like is Margot Robbie. Like, you look at her in Wolf of Wall Street, and she gets nominated for that. And that is your classic, like, this actress showed up, got nominated for this part, did like 3 other things, and then we never saw her again.
Right.
But there's so many actresses like that in the course of movie history. And she was like, well, I'm not going to sit around and wait for people to offer me parts. Like, she was proactive from the jump. Like, she was the one she's like, I want to play Tanya Harding. I'm going to get a Tanya Harding movie made. That's you know, great. Like, she's the one who made sure that Greta Gerwig was able to do what she wanted to on Barbie. You know, it's like Margot Robbie, it's like you cannot be just an actor anymore. You have to be an actor and a producer.
Sure.
And the ones that recognize that and are using their leverage to put real artisans in place to make great. I mean, I think Barbie is a fucking miracle. Like, that's a 5-star movie if you ask me.
I know, I agree. It was awesome.
The imagination and creativity that they brought to the fucking Barbie movie is like nothing short of like mind blowing.
Right.
You know, and it almost doesn't get enough credit, if you ask me, because it's easy to dismiss as like the Barbie movie.
And it was also, everybody remembers Barbenheimer, and like it feels like such a gimmick or whatever. It's like, it's a Barbie movie, and then there was the Barbenheimer gimmick, and it's like, again, IP, all this shit. But like, yeah, but what they did with it, like, they didn't just make Barbie's famous, so we're going to make a movie with Barbie. Like, they used that as a vehicle to make to make a statement, and they did, you know.
Yeah.
And then they were proved correct in their assessment when, you know, everybody thought Ryan Gosling was the best thing about it. So, you know, what are you going to do?
That is true.
I'm kidding. I did think that was funny. That like
It is funny.
What that movie was, and then like all people wanted to do was talk about how great Ryan Gosling is, and I was like, he was, but like, come on, guys.
It's also it's just like how the only person that really came out of Girls is Adam Driver.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's hilarious to me. Like the legacy of Girls is the boy.
That is true. I mean, obviously Lena Dunham has her own thing and she can do whatever she wants. But yeah, you're correct. That is hilarious. That propelled his career so hard.
And it's like, so I mean, whatever. I'm not trying. I mean, it probably just says a lot about the patriarchy, more than anything.
Yeah,
but it is.
Well, I mean, Adam Driver does rule, but
Adam Driver does rule. It is hard to be mad about Adam Driver.
Yeah,
man, when you can look like that and become a huge movie star, there's something you're doing right.
Couldn't agree more.
Sorry, Adam. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean.
He knows. I mean, there was a time when that was. It's like when movies first started. It's funny because like when movies first started, like Cecil B. DeMille, they were just going like, we don't need a woman to be a good actress. We need them to look good, and then we'll make them be good on screen. It was all about the looks. Whereas and it was that way for men a little bit, but at the same time, it's like, dude, Humphrey Bogart was the biggest sex symbol on the planet. He looks like my shop teacher. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like he wouldn't even be considered the hottest guy in town in a regular town anymore. And in the 90s, it was all like, you have to look good. And if you don't look good, you're not getting this. But we have gotten to a place now where I do think more differently abled faces are getting a shot because we do appreciate talent and stuff. But I mean, having big tits still helps, I'm sure.
It can't hurt. It can hurt your back, I suppose. But
yeah, I suppose.
Fellas, you already know what time it is. It's time to level up, baby. And Blue Chew just dropped something absolutely insane. I'm talking next level boner stuff, y'all. Blue Chew Gold is the newest innovation from the #1 chewable ED brand that has been bringing you this show and others in the well-read Skuniverse for, almost 8 years, I think now. As we all know, it ain't your grandpa's little blue pill. It's a 4-in-1 beast, and I know a lot of y'all are thinking, like, I was pretty cool with my boner pill just having one thing in it. Nah, this is a 4-in-1, okay? Gold standard for performance. We're talking 2 ingredients for blood flow that keep that rocket pumping, mixed with apomorphine and oxytocin to turn up the arousal. So it's like taking a pill, but also having oysters and chocolate strawberries. It's pretty sweet, and it dissolves under your tongue. You ain't even got to chew this one; it just dissolves under your tongue. Works in as little as 15 minutes. That means you can get it on quicker and stay in the game longer, baby. Y'all know I've been using it for about 8 years, and it doesn't have to mean that you need it, but sometimes you just want things to be easier. You don't want to have to use your brain. You know what I mean? So next time she sends you a "you up" text, just send her a picture of that little package of Blue Chew. It's so easy. And by the way, it comes to your house in a discreet white package, so your pharmacist ain't got to know what's going on. Your male man or male woman don't have to know what's going on. Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with code POA. That's promo code POA. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. Y'all ever see your dog just like licking or scratching itself too much and like rubbing its head on the carpet and rubbing its butt everywhere? Do you know that like those aren't actually normal things that your dog is supposed to do? We've always just thought they were, but really that's because your dog is like allergic to something. If they get like red skin, rashes, red spots, skin infections, patchy skin, diarrhea, poor digestion, these are not normal dog behaviors. They're allergies. And you can use Better Wild Allergy Relief Soft Chews for your dog. And don't you think your dog wants some soft chews? Of course, because just like us, dogs need good bacteria to strengthen their gut and calm an overactive immune system. So instead of just covering things up, you're going to be supporting your dog at the source. Okay? My mom's been using it with Reese, and Reese has been a completely different dog ever since we started. She's not panting as much. She's not scratching as much. She doesn't have as many patchy spots on her belly. You can just tell that she feels better. And right now, Better Wild is offering our listeners up to 40% off your order at betterwild.com/POA. That's betterwild.com/POA for up to 40% off your order. betterwild.com/POA.
Wrapping it up here, was there anything that you thought would get nominated that not only didn't win, but didn't even get nominated? Were there any like big snubs this year that I don't know about?
I guess the one thing I would say is in a year where we gave the Oscar to Jessie Buckley for being a grieving mother,
Mhm.
and then we also nominated Rose Byrne for being a mother dealing with raising an impossible child. We totally ignored Jennifer Lawrence playing a postpartum mother losing her mind in Die My Love by Scottish filmmaker Lynn Ramsey, which
I didn't even hear about this. I got to check that out.
it's a weird movie. It's her and Robert Pattinson. Some of the criticism I've heard about the movie is that Pattinson's a little miscast because he's just like too handsome and interesting. Like the husband needs to be a little bit more of a shitheel in the movie.
Right, right.
But it is just such a like it's a very well, first of all, it's a very, very, very actory, like actor class
Right.
level performance, like where it's like she's just like crawling through the forest as like a feral animal at points. But
Right.
like it's I just really was knocked out by her performance. It's like, and she's someone that they used to nominate all the time.
I was about to
love,
say,
and,
it's not like there's no precedent for her, like anything. If you'd think, especially her after being, she sort of, I feel like got a little bit of the Robert Pattinson treatment for a minute, like, oh, she's the Hunger Games person, and this is what she does. And then she really showed her chops. And so, like, which makes it even more of like, we should nominate her when she does something weird,
To me, this is like, what do we want? Like, if we like her, this is like her best work. You've
Right.
already given her, and like this deserves some sort of recognition. I mean, look, it was a stacked year across the board. I mean, I think anybody who didn't get nominated for something shouldn't be too
Right.
hurt. I think it was really hard to get in there, but like, she's someone who, it's funny, like she's someone who I never like disliked, but I wasn't like super into either. And it's like in the last few years, she's been making really great choices, and I respect her a lot more. And I'm like, been nice to throw her a bone on this one. But
Yeah, because that's what she needs is a bone to be thrown her way. That poor Jennifer Lawrence, You'll make it one day, kid. No, I hear you. I mean, I just made the same point.
I want to reward them when she's going off making this super indie budget movie. Like, let's fucking encourage that, please.
I couldn't agree more. Like, again, we as performers all have egos. So when somebody does a thing that is outside the box, it's like reward that so that we'll keep making that stuff, because that stuff needs to come back. Like, obviously, look, superhero movies and movies like that, big blockbusters, they ain't going nowhere, but they've also never not been here. Like, they've always been here. That's always been a thing. Always been a thing. It always will be a thing. It's a good thing. And those movies are fun. And that's why I love movies, is that you can be a movie lover and that means something different to everybody. And it's like, I want to see, I like Begonia and I like Maverick, Top Gun the same amount. They're two complete. You know what I mean? Like, both of those are good experiences.
Right.
They're different. They're way different experiences. But like, I just like fucking, over the weekend or before I left, I watched War Machine, that new Alan Richardson movie. It's a copy and paste type action thing, little predatory, all this stuff. Loved it. Had a great time. You know what I mean? It wasn't too long. It was a fun. I laid there, not feeling too great, and it killed it. Sometimes it is just to kill a couple hours, and that's your goal. And if you accomplish it, where when you kill those couple hours, you had a good time doing it, then that's a good thing to have done. Everything doesn't have to create this narrative and have to be long lasting and legacy. Like, sometimes you put in your work to make somebody's 2 hours better, and that's all you got to do. And that's why I like the movies so much. And I appreciate you coming on here, Byrnes, and talking to me.
Yeah, well
about
said.
the
Thank
movies.
you, Corey. Yeah, I'll come talk to you about the movies anytime. It's my favorite thing to do.
Promote your stuff.
Well, speaking of movies, I'm actually in San Jose right now, where I was at the world premiere of the film Give It Up, which I produced with Gareth Reynolds.
That's right, baby.
That's right. He's the lead actor and the writer, co-writer. The director is a guy named Kyle Anderson, who he wrote the script with Gareth. Kyle is a stand-up himself.
Mm-hmm.
This will be coming out on Wednesday. There is a script. If you happen to be in the San Jose area,
we record on Wednesdays most of the time. It comes out on Fridays, unfortunately.
Well, if you happen to listen to this first thing on Friday and are in the San Jose area and want to come to the Alamo Draft House at 2:30, you can catch it. Otherwise, we'll be figuring out What?
I'm being serious. I can't think of anything more I'd want to do than hang out with you and Gareth at 2:30 in the afternoon at the Alamo Draft House watching movies. That really does seem like a perfect day. Like, that's fucking awesome.
We had the premiere on Sunday at the California Theater here, which is a beautiful theater. And let me tell you, it was a fucking great day. We had a ton of fun. And,
That's awesome,
I want
man.
to say, obviously, I'm biased towards the movie, but I just produced it.
Right.
Like I didn't, like these guys, I helped them make it, but these guys made the movie and they made a great fucking movie about comedy, about the state of comedy. You'll get to see a side of Gareth you haven't seen before. You'll be like, wow, he's
A talented side.
Yes, exactly.
Nice.
And so I'll be very, very excited for people to finally be able to see it whenever that finally comes around. And until then, check out the Next We Have podcast over at HeadGum, which I produce with Gareth, who I'm saying like everybody here just knows who he is.
They do. Gareth from the Dollop. Everybody knows Gary.
Gareth from the Dollop. So yeah, lots of, and I think Gary and I have a lot of things coming out this year that I think people can be really excited to see. So for any updates on that, just keep up with Gareth on Instagram.
Absolutely. And we're all proud of you, buddy. And as for me,
yeah.
What's that, man?
Where are you going to be?
Oh, interesting. March 29th, I will be in Atlanta at the Punchline. Please come see me. And then after that, I've sworn to myself I'm not going to do much more stand-up this year just because I don't know. I just don't want to travel. Jesus. I want to come to your city.
You just want to be home with your son. You want to be home with your kid.
I do.
That's simple.
I want to come to your city. I swear to God. And stand-up is my favorite thing to do. But I do think I'm going to spend most of my time writing at CoreyWritesForYou.com. That's my Substack. Go there. Check that out. Of course, the other podcasts, Well Read, and all that good stuff. And stay fancy, motherfuckers. And fingers crossed that Trae doesn't die skiing or whatever he's doing right now. I don't fucking know.
I can't believe he's skiing. Terrible call.
Idiot, moron, gangly, uncoordinated, stupid piece of shit. Yeah, let me go skiing. That'll be fun.
Coming back hurt for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. At least it's pride. Yeah, pride, emotionally, kneecap on the other side, like it's going to be bad. But stay fancy, motherfuckers. Here's Lydia Loveless.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Royalty and rednecks are alike. They both like cutting and picking fights. Biscuits and baked beans where they don't belong. Sit on down with Corey and Trae and learn some fancy shit today. We'll laugh a little even when they're wrong. They'll take you to a magical place where if you call someone a cunt, nobody cares. They keep it debonair at putting on airs, putting on airs, putting on airs.